issues today. Skype says it's resolved, but if you check Heartbeat at Skype status and skypedown.com or downdetector.com, it still shows peak issues with Skype.
You know what this probably is, though? It's just the CIA trying to cover up their tracks.
Yeah, the dump is happening right now.
Oh, dude, like anytime that you have one of these major outages that affects all these different platforms, you can almost be guaranteed that essentially there's some sort of... This isn't by chance. That's a guarantee.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, you know? I'm not.
Yeah,
after everything that's come out, I mean, you essentially... You know what they did? This is brilliant of them, by the way, because it's worked on people, you know, like Leah, you know, a lot of people, I mean, you know, most of us are like this, though. We can't... What are we going to do about it? You know what I mean? So you just kind of give up on it. But
I don't know about you, but...
Yeah, but I mean, but I mean, it's like years ago they basically said, like, this is what the NSA is doing. Even with the Snowden thing, I swear to God, that was even planned. Like, here's what they're doing. They're spying on you. And once they basically say right off the bat that, hey, guess what? We're spying on everyone. Well, the little bit of outrage happens, but then everybody kind of goes, well, we kind of expected that. So everything that happens after that doesn't seem that bad.
Yeah,
no, it's just because people are apathetic, saying, "Oh, well, what can we do?" It's what can you do? You can first of all remove the people in office that you've elected that essentially allowed for this treason to occur. You can actually do all these other things that essentially will stop that, and it's just it's absolute insanity that people would acquiesce to such a far-reaching situation. I mean, shit, like. These groups have basically allowed it so that these what they're called zero-day exploits could be utilized by them to you know, fuck around. So like these smart TVs now are hackable. They can hear you if they want. Certain words will trigger them and awake them. I mean, yeah, it's insanity.
What was that episode of South Park? It was the funniest fucking thing. You talk about that being triggered. Like Cartman or something or somebody. I still to this day can't get an answer on what episode it was. But basically, I think it might have been about the NSA or something. But like Cartman or somebody got mad, like he stubbed his toe, and he was like, "Motherfucker, I'll kill somebody. That my fucking foot hurts, motherfucker. I want to shoot, blah blah." And then he's like, "Goddamn Obama!" Like, and then like. And then all of a sudden, like, you see a satellite up in outer space, like, turn on, and it was like, and all the words he said, like, fire, kill, Obama, like, all that stuff, like, synced up, and, like, the FBI...
I remember that episode, actually. I've got to look that up.
Dude, I fucking died. The FBI breaks down his door, like, what are you saying?
Yep.
All right, so the episode is called Let Go, Let Gov, and it's the 17th season, and it was the season premiere.
Right, that's hilarious. So I gotta look that up because I want to watch that because it is so funny, dude. When it's like, because you could, the reason why it's so funny is because you literally can picture that happening, like no doubt about it. Like the wrong.
Oh, well, no, but that's the thing though. That is exactly what's happening, and that's the technology that actually exists. I mean, you can literally have that ability to activate hardware just based on words. He's always listening.
There's a guy in California who clarified this too, by the way. He went on he was reading news of what somebody said about like what he was going to do to like the government or the president or something. And he like read it verbatim, like what this guy wrote. And he was like, this guy's a dangerous guy on Facebook and whatever. So he read the whole thing, but it almost sounded like he was saying it but he was really reading it. And the same thing happened. And he claims that there's no way that, because he hadn't his video only had like a few, like 5 views or something, and it was from his own subscribers before he made it unlisted because he wasn't sure if he wanted to put it out there. And the next thing you know, like the government was at his house. And he claims they even told him, like they basically said like they figured it out through complex data. So that means that like, and to the government's credit, because they showed up, like they didn't show up like knocking down his doors and shit. They showed up like, hey, can we talk to you? And they wanted to know the information about the other guy. So apparently they did review it based on the verbiage that was collected in data. But then they pulled the verbiage, found the link to the website, found the actual video, hacked, they obviously had to hack through to get the unlisted video, but it was still published. Realize that the guy wasn't saying that himself. And show up and already know that the guy wasn't saying it himself, but wanting to question him on who he was speaking
that's
of.
That's the thing. They've got server farms. They literally have like warehouses of computers that are analyzing all these things, and they can quickly put together, this sort of thing, and then alert, okay, we've got somebody that needs to be talked to or something like that.
Have you seen the movie Ex Machina?
I'm not sure. I don't
Go
think so.
watch that movie. I won't say anything
I have it in
further.
my queue.
You have to first of all, you just have to go watch it. Dave, Jake, you got to watch the movie.
Yeah, I've heard good things. I have it all queued up. I just haven't watched it yet.
It's a great little movie. It's slightly predictable in a way, but it's just real. It's good, man. It's a great watch late at night or something. But basically, what I will tell you is that they use the AI. A lot of the AI technology comes from all those, let's say, server farms over the years saved up to create the personality for the robot to make it so human.
Oh, wow.
It's kind of interesting because that's sort of, you could see that happening, because imagine the money that they could make off selling this data. Like, it's not even, they're technically they're selling
they have.
Right.
They have. Google is basically a CIA front, as is Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook, absolutely. That I'll believe.
And the power of hacking. It's like, well, a lot of people say, like, why don't we create new websites? Why don't we create the new internet? All these things. But it's like, dude, the power that they have as far as hacking and ability to outreach, it's like,
well, that's what WikiLeaks also revealed, is the fact that there's 36 divisions in the CIA that basically are part of this cyber warfare department. And they've been compromised, but they've also came out with like this thing called the Weeping Angel, sort of like the fucking Doctor Who thing, but the Weeping Angel exploit, which allows them to basically take control of the Samsung TVs or the phones or whatever.
Any device, even Xbox was on that list with the Kinects and Cortana.
But they use those words. There's also
Siri.
one called like Pocket Putin. And that's some sort of, I guess it's like a compromised server or something like that, that allows for, some sort of proxy work. I'm not an expert in this, but from the information that I've read, it just, it lays it bare. I mean, I'm not surprised, but the naivety of certain people like Nick Lewis, who tweeted all three of us, just a moment ago about Trump doesn't want to drain the swamp. That guy is sadly extremely naive about the state of the world. And
he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Wisdom does come with age. I'm not going to deny that. But the problem is that right now we literally are in a zombie movie. Like, we're surrounded by zombies who don't think, but they just react from what they're told.
Yeah, that's it.
I know that,
and it's a hard battle, guys.
Nobody,
fuck.
Well, because none of these people want to accept that too. It's like, I got to be honest. I'm pretty naive a lot of times too, because you just can't. If you allow yourself to think about this shit, like, you're gonna be fucking all screwed up and swayed.
Yeah, it sucks. But the bottom line is, if you have an open mind and at least are willing to consider it, to listen to it, and not fucking try to yell somebody down because they're saying something that you disagree with, then at least you have that value. You have that potential to eventually say, you know what, I do want to learn about this. But the people who just like mentally shut down, and it doesn't matter what you say, they're like, fuck you. It's like, no, but what about this, fact? Or you said this, and I want to reply with this. No, fuck you. No, let's have a discussion. No, fuck you. Yeah. I mean, you see these things, these videos, even with mainstream media, like they go to the Berkeley riots and stuff, and they try to interview people, and these anti-fuck communists, they don't even want to, even have a debate. They don't even want to say, like, I'm doing this because I stand for the workers, because I think that there's a inequity when it comes to salaries, or I think there's a massive amount of wealth that should be here in the country. No, it's just fuck you. So it shows that these people literally are like zombies. They don't question anything.
Yeah, but it's easier to say "fuck you" than to recognize the truth and accept the reality.
Not.
And
not to me.
To them. No, I'm saying.
Well, they're zombies. That's the thing. They're not like us.
But the reality to them is too difficult to accept. It would destroy their fragile little minds.
Well, they can't
again. Yeah, it's
exactly.
The Matrix
they can't
thing.
accept the fact that the government is, spying on them. They can't accept the fact that they're not special little snowflakes.
No,
they can't accept the fact that life
do.
isn't fair.
Well, some of them accept it and say it's necessary, but I think that all guns should be confiscated. But then you reply, but hold on, the only way to confiscate all guns is to have a force of people with guns to confiscate the other guns. So you're not anti-gun, you're pro-gun,
exactly,
but only for an elite few. So again,
They hear that, and that
it exposes their hypocrisy and their hate for freedom. Really, I mean, to me, I don't care what you do with your life as long as it's legal and consensual, and you pay your taxes. Then it's none of my business.
Which I owe.
And it should go back and forth. Everyone should be applied to that. You're recognized by the government as being valuable and necessary of, you pay your taxes, you get your Social Security, and you get all this other stuff. So other than that, I really don't care if you fucking wear a dress and you got a dick. I mean, it's that simple. It's really
it is that simple, but they don't care.
It's
that's what it comes down to, is that people just don't care.
One thing that ruins it is like the really crazy, because there's a side of everybody. Like there's over hyper active like conspiracy people, so like that makes everyone think that that's how it is. So like anybody who's like in that bubble that doesn't want to break the bubble, the minute that they see a video like that or like this or something like that where you're talking about like
like Alex Jones,
not even just Alex Jones, but any show, like just even like Biff Jones is doing a show about how the government might be spying on us. People, and all these things like what the government's doing with our information. Those people immediately hear that stuff and they go, "Oh, I'm not listening to that," and they shut right off.
That's true. That's true.
And it's like, and I used to be a little bit like that too, because I used to be like, "Oh, come on, you crazy person, trying to make some money off me or whatever." And it's like you actually assume that my individual self, bringing up thought questions, is trying, and some people are, so that's the problem. They give it a bad rap, just like everything else. It's actually comparable to the Women's Day today, to be honest, like the Women's Day, right? Like, so Women's Day, that's great. Like, I like that. That sounds good. Let's recognize women. They have some tough shit that they go through. Well, so don't we all.
Yeah, but they want women not to work today and to stop, being
Yeah, that's going too far. See, that's the opposite of what Women's Day is supposed to be. And the second thing about that is, you got a woman like that, whatever that bookstore is that turned all the male books over. It's like,
oh my God.
It's supposed to be Women's Day, not Fuck Men Day. Like, so you're ruining it.
Exactly.
So you're making.
Hold on. That exposes the hypocrisy of feminism, because they say, well, feminism is about equality. No, it's not. It's about trying to put one gender over another. If you really wanted to be about equality, you'd say, I'm an equalist.
Well, again,
I
Dave,
just want things to be equal.
Well, that's the problem. Again, is some people see it that way, some people see it the other way, but it's all called the same thing, but it isn't.
But hold on. One thing about what you just said about the books being turned over, which I thought was just, it was like a very infantile.
It's almost Nazi-like.
Sort of like it was just a brat acting out. But here's the thing. They just highlighted the fact that right now there's a lot more male artists than male authors than there are female.
Yeah, well, they would say because they're not allowed to be
what are you
authors.
trying to do? Basically say that there's a lot more, male individuals that are writing? I mean...
Well, they would say probably that female...
Yeah, but instead they take away from everybody else, and they want to make sure, like I said, it's not just...
They're shooting themselves in the foot when they have a scratch. That's my point.
Yeah, well, she did. Well, those type of people do. I mean, that's the problem, is because what they're doing is they're allowing now many conservative white males, or males, even black males, are mad. Any males can be mad, but...
No, it's not even conservatives anymore. Liberals, classical liberals, even people on the left are now being silenced by the left. That's what's crazy.
That's always been going on. Yeah, they silence themselves. Oh, God, yeah, of course. Look at Black Lives Matter was at...
more, though.
Well, Black Lives Matter was at Bernie's rally, and they basically were like, fuck you, Bernie, we're Black Lives Matter, fuck you. And it was like, dude, this guy's going to help you guys. Why are you doing this to him?
He marched with Martin Luther King, for Christ's sakes, but they want to call him out. Makes no sense. And another part of today, so they don't want women to go to work. They don't want women to shop. They want women to only wear red. And the only place they can shop is if it's a local business, not like a Walmart, but a small local independent business owned and operated by women.
That's retarded.
Oh, my God.
That's retarded,
I didn't hear about
bro.
That.
That's what they want. They were talking about it. So I listen to Elvis Duran when I drop Courtney off in the morning, the days I take the car. And Elvis is on the radio, and he means it. He's being sincere about it. I'll give him that much. But he's having to go on and on about his female co-hosts and how they make everything better, which I understand. The girls do a good job every day, and that's how he means it. But he's got people calling in because he's not praising them enough, and he's not, basically he wasn't doing his part to make them feel like they're superior.
Yeah. Well, you're
It's
isolating
ridiculous.
people. You know, as a white male, I feel like I'm under attack now. It's like why did I ever have to whine about stuff? Because there's no day for me. You know, the one of the girls on my Facebook
hold
page.
on.
Wait a minute.
Just like I saw on fucking Facebook just a moment ago from this piece of shit. Oh, but that's all 364 days of the other year. I mean,
well, no,
every other day is man's day.
Take away at least 7 days, because there's a bunch of days for other people where you're a piece of shit. So it's actually
Why
350.
can't every day just be human day and that's it?
Well,
because
crybabies.
Bullshit.
Listen, this girl basically explained this. She was like, I was sexually like harassed at a job, and then her next thing was, and people look at me like I can't do the job because I'm a woman. Well, let me flip that on you, because let me explain something. Yes, I get it. So that means have a woman's day, and like people start saying fuck men and have a woman's day. Let's pretend that there's no like book turning of male names. Let's just say it's just a woman's day, right? There's no male day. Well, when I was younger, I had my fucking bike stolen by a group of black kids, and they were like, "You fucking cracker, white cocksucker." Years later, a black kid pulled a gun on me and told me, "Honky, you in the wrong place." As an 11-year-old in Louisiana at Mardi Gras, a 40-year-old tall black man shoved me over and was like, "Out of my way, white boy." So I could say I was assaulted myself and discriminated against through all those situations, and say
because of the color of your skin.
There should be a male day or a white male day, because that happened to me. So my point is, and there's more.
But that's so racist.
No, and my point is that we all have circumstances where somebody bullied us or something happened to us because of who we are. It doesn't matter who you are, whether because you're a white male, because you're a younger kid, because you're a black kid, because you're an Asian kid, because you don't speak English well, because you're a girl, whatever the case is. Eventually, somewhere, somehow, you know, someone's going to hurt you, and they're going to reference either your gender, color, age, inability to fight back, your stature, whatever. And so the fact that her example was, I need to have a woman's day because of this. Well, I've had that happen to me. I don't have a day. And honestly, I don't give a shit, and I don't want one. But that's...
Well, I would have to say that basically all these, certain, insert your issue here day should just be called Victim Day. Because
Exactly.
all it is that people want to be these fake victims and just assume some sort of indignation that they've been wronged somehow, and yet that other people in the world haven't had to deal with the same bullshit and have overcome that.
Right.
It's absolute victimhood. So let's just call it Victim Day. Every time that it's Victim Month.
Where's
it's
alcohol?
Victim Day.
Where's Alcohol Abuse Day? When I used to come home from school and my mother's step boyfriend, fucking asshole, who used to fucking.
What about a homeless veteran day? Are we going to have a homeless veteran day?
No,
considering there's
because
so
most
many
of them are
there out
men.
on the streets.
Most of them are men. So fuck homeless
exactly.
veterans.
Oh no!
So
Yeah, we can't do that then.
So I mean that's why there's a pushback. It's like, yes, I do recognize myself. It's just the problem is it's hijacked by so many people. Like, have we held women back over the years in different ways? Yeah, of course. Like they have been. Now we're sort of fucking with men's like rights, and especially white men's rights.
But we're so far
purity.
removed from slavery and segregation and women's rights at this point that it almost is a non-issue. You know what I mean? I know racism,
It is a non-issue.
is still alive. Yes, people are still racist out there, but there's less racist people than they make it out to sound. They act as if every single person is out to get you and the enemy.
Jake,
All
it's
I want-
illegal by law to discriminate against a gender by paying them less. The wage
Exactly.
gap is a myth. It's created only to try to create more victims or people that feel that they're victims, when in fact the statistics just show that women take more time off because the majority of women wish to raise a family. They get separated from the workforce, and if they do come back, they're working less hours because they have to deal with the family. These are just statistics. These aren't, some sort of like insanity that people would spout to think that they're going to convince you that, that you're wrong. No. The wage gap is a myth, and people that continue to perpetuate it are really just trying to destroy the family unit.
Exactly.
with the
I mean,
wage
even
gap
men
is-
get maternity leave now.
Right. The wage gap. What I think is happening with that is, sometimes, and it's true, sometimes a woman is paid less than they would have paid a male to do the job. That is their.
It's illegal to do that.
Yeah, not
anybody
anymore.
can sue for that.
Exactly.
Basically,
They
right
end up
now the
losing more
thing
than
is
they
the
make.
woman will take the maternity leave. She'll be away. They have to hire a replacement and stuff. When she comes back, they're going to have to shuffle that replacement, depending on how they hired that person, to another department or provide them severance or something like that. So there is a cost towards employing females, and this comes with the fact that when if women even choose to come back to the workforce, then they're they're limiting themselves. But the fact is that a lot of them just choose to continue to raise their families.
But as bad as it is that some people are crying that there's this inequality with it, you have to admit that there is a small point to it, and there are a certain amount of.
It's 2017.
No, but there's a small amount of males
who don't
disagree. No, there's you can look these people up. They're out there. I've heard them talk. They're crazy. There's a group of men who are in high powerful positions or own companies and things like that who do believe that women are less valuable, and that's why they'll hire a male over them and things like that.
Yeah, but if they can prove that they hired a man instead of a woman just because of gender, then their ass is grass, and they're going to get
exactly.
Do you want to know how they do it? I mean, can I tell you?
Information. There's a group of men. Can you provide me with some information? Because I can be quite honest with you. If you want to look at skills and abilities and IQ levels, statistically, it's been shown that there's more men that are in the scientific and medical industries than there are women because of that intelligence line.
I can promise you that if you YouTube wage gap or women's pay, equal pay for women, you will find not only a lot of crazy women who are out of their minds with incorrect data, but you'll also find a few crazy males in high power positions who really do believe, I'm sorry, the woman is less valuable because she's going to get pregnant and she's going to work less as hard. And the things they say, I mean, and
you'll find people that will actually cite the facts, like Gavin McKinnon or Steven Crowder, who will actually prove that the wage gap is a myth.
I do like Gavin to an extent.
You're going to take it from a few people that are fringe on the internet, or you're going to take it from the fact that legally nobody wants to get sued, and these companies, unfortunately, are right now even being legislated by law to employ more women, despite the fact that women just don't want to be employed in that position.
No, I mean, I agree that I'm telling you that I agree. 99% of the time, first of all, you're seeing people hiring women just because they're women. You're seeing them hire women over men just because they're women. The same thing as the affirmative action stuff that would happen, but it's happening for women. I definitely agree with you. I see that, but I'm saying I'm not denying though that there's probably a 1% to 2% around the country where there is a discrimination, just as there's probably a discrimination to men some places, like a woman who starts a business or a small business.
Are you trying to say that basically we're living in the 50s like Mad Men, where basically women are getting their ass pinched all the time?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just acknowledging both. I'm just acknowledging both people's arguments because there is a small argument for them. It's not just made up. I think that they are making it up. They are piling onto it to make it sound more grandiose when it's not.
You ever been hit on by a female superior?
Yes.
Yeah, so, okay, that stuff would be totally ignored and you'd be ridiculed for reporting that, but if it went the other way around, oh, look at that, let's get the police involved or something similar to that nature.
I almost posted that on Facebook today. I might still actually do it because I'm gonna raise awareness of your hypocrisies because listen, I was basically raped. I never reported it because I thought it was a good time, and there's your stereotype of a guy, right? But what if I wasn't like that? What if I was a different person and it fucked up my mind? What if I got a disease and I died of it and they raped me? That's almost murder in a way. So there's lots of things. And then what about the woman who hit on me at that job? Now, luckily at that job that I was at, I happened to get moved because it was a job where you kind of move around a little bit, and they moved me to a different location. That was randomly done 2 weeks into this situation, and I was still thinking about what do I do? If I say something, I might get fucked. You know what I mean? This
exactly. That's a concern many men have when they get put into that position, and that's never spoken about because you're a man. Yeah, you should be enjoying that sort of thing. But when your job's on the line,
Yeah,
and you've got to
exactly.
worry about your own paycheck, to live.
I got to tell you, too,
you
dude.
really have few options.
I watch a lot of these kids shows now that my kids watch shows, and Jake might fucking know what I'm talking about. On YouTube, they're the YouTube shows where lots of the parents...
Oh, my God.
Dude, they make a killing, these parents. They just put their kids on camera, and they, like, do little skits. There's a ton of these guys who have kids, and I can't believe they have kids. These guys are like... Okay, Karen. Oh my God, that was funny. Awesome, Karen. Awesome. Okay, now get down the water slide. And I'm like, this is the dad. What the fuck is going on, dude? I was like, this guy's gay, right? Now, by the way, there's nothing wrong with being gay with two gay guys or a gay person. I'm fully in support of gay people. I had a guy literally hit on me on Facebook that I've known for a long time. And some people,
yeah, but they're gay for entertainment's sake. They're doing it to.
This guy, the people on YouTube, this guy is talking like that, and he's not gay, but he's got a wife, and I'm like, how did this guy have kids?
He's an emasculated male.
There's a million
that essentially just was there to provide sperm for that lady who needed kids before her biological clock ran out.
I just don't get it. They're everywhere on YouTube. Like, hey, me and Cadence are going to the mall, and I'm like, this is the dad. What the fuck?
It's the result of social engineering. The man was supposed to be the head of the family, a strong source of inspiration as well as discipline in that family.
Now he's a fucking homo.
Yeah, right now he's the idiot that's portrayed on the sitcoms and stuff. Like the mother's always right and intelligent, but the husband, he's such an idiot. He's such a bumbling fool. And that again goes back to the fact that they're trying to destroy the family unit by making it so that these roles are confused.
Hasn't that always happened, though?
You don't have confidence in the family unit. People look at that and they say, well, why would I ever want to have a family if the husband's always an idiot?
Dave, hasn't that always been the case, though? I mean, even Archie Bunker.
No, it hasn't.
Well, come on. Archie Bunker was like, it was like, oh, Archie! And like, Archie was like, oh, Edith, he's a fag. Edith. Oh, don't say that, Archie. And he was like the bigoted idiot husband.
Look at programs from the 1950s and then compare them, as each decade goes along, as pop culture being ahead of politics.
That's a good point.
Lucy was a strong woman, but then Ricky always put her in her place. Oh, Ricky, that was the whole point behind it.
There was never even a question of the fact that him in his position as a husband could do that without being ridiculed or being even like assaulted verbally, like, oh my God, you're bossing her around. It's like, you've got a crazy wife and you got to deal with that.
Put her in her place.
But I mean, it's not like
I'm in the middle with that.
It's not like we're espousing violence against women, but what I'm saying is that the values were focused on, even Leave It to Beaver, for example, you had even though she was a housewife, the mother was like, June Cleaver was basically strong. She wouldn't deal with any bullshit from fucking the Beaver or.
Don't you think the Winslows were like the perfect family, right? Because like
that was also a very good family too. Because again, the mother was strong. The father had a very good role, and
he was a
it's
cop.
Hilarious because I think Cracked even came out with an article talking about this. That like, if you take a look at the Winslows or
so funny
Will Smith in what's it called, Fresh Prince.
Fresh Prince, yeah.
You had a father that was a judge. You had a father that was a cop, right?
Yeah.
And nowadays, and they were black. That's just.
We're talking black.
Nowadays,
family.
if you look, if someone was to do a show, they would call them sellouts or, Uncle Toms or coons or whatever, and they would try to make it like, oh, the white man's trying to make the black man, look bad. It's like, but those are great jobs.
Exactly.
Those are admirable jobs. It doesn't matter who's in that role. They're doing a public service. And
Family Matters, he was a police officer. Like you said, Fresh Prince, he was a judge. They had these different roles that are respected. And
even the Cosby Show. Even the Cosby Show had
he was a
doctor.
Yeah. But
who was basically actually breaking stereotypes and being a positive role model.
But here's the thing. I was thinking about it more like, you're talking about sort of the alpha male mentality, like a strong male character. I was actually thinking of like, who's a guy who was fairly smart, was a regular guy, but also could protect the family, that was essentially the leader of the family, but at the same time took input from the wife, and the wife could be strong too. And I look at all that, and that's what made me click on the Winslows, because Carl, he would share with his wife and ask her opinion of things, but at the same time he would lead the family too, but without demeaning her. And if somebody were to break into the house, Carl would be the one that would say, I'll take care of this shit. And not that his wife, couldn't come down and help, but I'm just saying, like, all those things put together, to me, he's the one who stands out for me. I think about even Tim Allen on Home Improvement. Even he was demasculated a bit. Like, his wife was a fucking badass. Like, if someone came in, I mean, would Tim Allen's character, he would kind of be like, I don't know what he would do. Would he be able to defend the family? I mean, I guess he was the man. He did all this stuff, but he also seeks stuff.
That's a good point.
I mean, that's
a great point. It wasn't a Peggy Bundy type situation,
Yeah.
Oh, ow.
Yeah, like if I was at a shopping mall and something went down, which dad would I be like? I hope I hope I have a dad to protect me. I would actually think about Carl Winslow over fucking Tim Allen.
Yeah, but you have a good point there, both of you, especially about the emasculation of the male, which again is supposed to be the head of the family unit. And this is just how it's been for hundreds of thousands of years. And you see, for example, even with somebody like Al Bundy, despite the bullshit that he had to deal with when it came, like when shit hit the fan, he was there to defend his family. He was there to really he'd take his beats. Like you'd see him at the end of the episode and he'd be like totally beat up, bloody, and he'd stick his hand down his pants. He'd be like, "Oh yeah." I mean,
I'm still the man.
Exactly.
But he was also a buffoon.
Aspects that, I mean, this isn't about roles being superior. It's just this is your job in the family unit. The husband has a certain job. The wife has a certain job. The kids also sort of have a certain job, and that's just how society continues. I mean, if we break that down, which is what they've been trying to do, you get the bullshit that we see right now, where people think that they're fucking dolphins or they're one gender one day and then a gender another day.
Yeah, I'm agender, so I can I'm not he or she. I'm them. That drives me insane. But getting back to the original topic, the original point that we started with here, is that I genuinely view this as a non-issue. We're so far removed from slavery, segregation, unequal rights, and like you said before, and then people turn around and they look at me and they say, "Oh, well, that's because you're a white cis male." And you've never been ostracized, and you don't know what it's like to, live in their shoes. And like Joe said, I claim bullshit. I've dealt with, bullying, and I've dealt with even forms of segregation before, and I've dealt with terrible scenarios and horrible situations. I can relate.
Well,
Just
they're
because
higher
I'm white,
up on the victim pyramid.
Listen, I will say that I haven't experienced like the hardcore stuff that some of these people have. But what I'm trying to say is that most of the loudest people in these situations that cry about this shit, I might have experienced more than they have actually. So that's the funny thing. But I'm not trying to compare myself to somebody who lived in a terribly racist white town or who, whatever, a woman who experienced constant like assaults for years at her work or whatever the fuck. It's not that extreme for me, but I've had many situations that are, and I've seen hundreds of women who their complaints about their experiences actually equal mine, and I can relate to them. And as many strong women just kind of go fuck, brush it off. They don't continue to cry about it. They brush it off. Just like I brushed it off and was like, fuck it. Here's what happened to me. I don't give a shit. It made me a stronger person. I'm not crying about it that I need help, or I'm not even crying that we need.
If you
men's
judge
awareness.
your decisions by your genitalia, then you've got problems.
Yeah, but what I always say is if I break my leg and you stub your toe, pain is pain. We're all human at the end of the day. So we're supposed to be able to relate to each other. So no matter the severity of the issue, so long as we can be compassionate to one another and relate, that's all that should matter.
Yeah, that's why I am happy to celebrate the Women's Day. It's just unfortunate that, it
got hijacked.
Well, it got hijacked by these bitches.
I disagree with both of you then, because the fact is, I'm not celebrating this false victim celebration to try to create more people that want to cry about false realities. I don't adhere to it, and I never will.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand that. You take one way or the other. I am taking the cop-out fake way through it. I'm almost doing what religion does, right? Like, so someone's like, oh, I'm a Catholic or I'm a Christian or whatever, but then, they don't believe in, doing anything that, around that actual religion. They just say they are, and they do whatever they want. So it's like, yeah,
but that's your opinion.
What, mine?
See, that just in general, you're allowed to have an opinion. Like, what I couldn't stand when Naomi won the title, we'll relate it to wrestling quickly. I was not happy because I don't care for her character. I don't think she's great in the ring. And, everyone, oh, you deserve it. Well, why does she deserve it? Because she was a funkadactyl for 2 years and danced? Somebody call your mama. That's all I see her as.
I think she works.
Unfortunately.
No, hold on.
No,
Not
it has
everyone
nothing.
deserves to have an opinion because your opinion could be wrong. So if you say,
right or wrong,
all homeless
it's still
people
an
should
No, I
be
mean, it
jailed.
doesn't matter if you're right or
Well,
wrong.
it doesn't matter whether
right or
you
wrong.
say,
You deal with only facts, Dave, but I deal in a matter of facts and opinion. And my point behind this is that, well, immediately because I don't care for Naomi, oh, I'm racist. It's because she's black. And that had nothing to do with it. It was just simply because, of her character. As where, I like Nia Jax. I liked her in NXT. I like, Ember Moon. It has nothing to do with race and the color of your skin or your gender, but just an in-ring ability and who you are.
Because people can't believe it. They go to that because they can't believe it. It's the crybaby mentality of, oh, well, let me search for the reason why you must not like this thing. Same thing as any one of us. I've had it. I can't stand it, dude. I go into a rage when people accuse me of that type of stuff because I know that I don't feel that way. And then most of the time, you find out how evil people are when they start accusing you of this stuff. And then when you start trying to fight back, they all of a sudden leave the discussion. So you know that they're just an empty fucking moron.
Exactly.
We got to get wrapping up on this. I recorded this whole thing, obviously, because this was gold. Yeah. But this will obviously go up on Shame on News, and we could probably segment this thing up, too, based on each topic. But that's all I got. I want to get out of here. Chris Lawrence is waiting for us. Dave, you got anything? Anybody you want to say anything before we get out of here? Happy Women's Day? I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, women can have their own day, but
no, they can't. The wage gap is
every day is Women's Day for my
feminism.
The wage gap is a myth,
feminism
Dave,
is cancer.
They can still go ahead and
free Milo. Free Milo.
Everybody can have a day of their own. Is my point.
Subscribe, guys. Subscribe. We're all gonna have a day.
Planet equally. So let's just call it
Dave.
Human Day.
Don't be
every day, all day.
Cut Cronin. Hit the like button, subscribe, and make sure you leave us a comment down below. More podcasts like this coming to Shame on News and Triggered by Rage, and
kiss
more
my
locations.
fat white ass.
We really need to get a black guy on here before this is getting weird,